Well, I think what we ought to do is simply recess to see how this plays out the rest of the day and see what happens and see what the governor says, and then make a decision as to what we do. But realistically, I don't see us going any further with respect to the taking of testimony.
Who called you? Has anyone called you, the lieutenant governor, governor? Has anyone called you personally or any of the members on the committee?
No. Art and I had a brief conversation this morning on my way up here. I had heard from our counsel, from Laura, telling us that this had come out in the news media, and that it appeared to be accurate in terms of the governor's intention.
But you have no confirmation yet from the governor's side that he is going to resign?
I don't. It may well be that Ross Garber has spoken to Stephen Reich, but I haven't talked to Stephen yet this morning.
All right, so it's your position now that you're not going to reach a conclusion or a recommendation to the House, but you are going to put together a report to show what you've uncovered or found in these past few days.
Once again, my opinion, not the committee's. I don't think we can come to any recommendation. I think we can tell the House what we did and how we did it. But I don't think we can come to any conclusion with respect to a recommendation that the committee might have, because we don't have that. And we haven't heard all the evidence. I don't expect we will hear any more evidence.
Wayne, is there a sense of unfulfillment, or are you more than happy to let it go the way it's going?
My analysis has been today, as it has always been, that I've been very saddened by the process, saddened by the fact that we have to go through this. I have a great deal of sympathy for the governor and his family and what they have gone through. In the real world, if everything we're hearing is accurate, I'm probably happy that it will be over. It's never been a position I sought.
How responsible is the governor himself for all this difficulty that he brought upon himself and his family?
Certainly some responsibility lies there. I mean, there are, quite frankly, people today that are going to be overjoyed by what has happened. I'm not one of those. I'm not pleased by what has happened. It's a fact of life that we have to deal with. Did the governor contribute to this? Certainly he did. Does he bear some responsibility? Certainly he does. That doesn't make it any more pleasant a process.
So you guys will still, if you guys issue a final report, then all the documents you've collected will be open to the public?
Oh, I assume so, sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Representative, we just got here. What happens?
What happens now is the committee will meet momentarily. I am of the opinion that it makes no sense for us to proceed any further today with evidentiary hearings. It would seem to me that we would recess, let this process play out today, let us hear what the governor has to say, and then very shortly, I think it's our obligation, pursuant to the resolution, for us to file a report and to report back to the House, as we have been directed to do, as to what has transpired and what we found. I do not expect, nor do I think we should, make any recommendation to the House, but for purposes of historical perspective, describe to the House what took place.
Is he off the hook, as some people would say now, with you guys?
I can't imagine that anyone who resigns from office is off the hook at all.
Are they making attempts?
I've said before, I feel a great deal of sympathy for him and what his family has gone through. It's not a happy process for him or for us. From my perspective, I'm glad that it would appear as though it's over.
Do you think it was the Supreme Court decision that was the final trigger?
I think that was a major factor. As I said earlier, he was at a point where some very difficult decisions had to be made, none of which were easy, none of which were good. And in my opinion, that probably brought closure on it.
So do you effectively, the process worked?
I guess history will decide that. But I think it worked as well as it could in terms of being fair to the institution and fair to this man.
What's your perspective on the governor, and how has it changed during your proceedings here? How do you explain this to somebody who's never heard of John Rowland?
I think it would appear as though he exercised some poor judgment during his administration and some decisions that he made for whatever the reason, and I don't know why, because we haven't heard from him. But it appears as though there was some poor judgment on the part of the governor in terms of some actions that he took. Beyond that, he has some very positive aspects to his life as a politician. Made some great contributions to the state of Connecticut.
Mr. Fox, just as one committee member, do you lean, or are you kind of reaching?
People may find this difficult to believe, but I have not made a conclusion. I do not have a leaning. I had not come to closure on that issue. They're waiting to start. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can you wait one?